Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. If you are new here, this is weekly tarot messages. Pick a message 1 through 4. I always tell everyone not to overthink it, to use your own intuition and see which message is calling to you, and then that will be your message for the week. These are essentially just quick snapshots. They're not long or drawn out tarot messages connected to the potential energies, challenges, along with some guidance and advice so you can hopefully navigate your week ahead in the best possible way. That is the intention. And regardless of the dates that these weeklies come out with, when you land on them was when you were meant to hear them. That's when those energies are going to be most relevant for you. Now, as an aside, this week is bringing in a new moon in Scorpio, which is a lot of shake-up energy. There's a lot of positive and some difficult energies that are connected to this new moon in Scorpio. So there's likely going to be some overlap with the energies that come into play this week with that new moon, like revelatory, bringing particular truths and things like that to the surface, secrets revealed for potentially for some. I am going to put out a new moon in Scorpio video. It's likely going to be out either Monday afternoon, evening, or early Tuesday. So if you're interested, you could have a look at that as well, because there's likely to be overlap with the weeklies and the new moon video. All right, give yourself a second to feel into messages 1 through 4, and I will get started here with message number 1. Hello to all my beautiful message 1 choosers. All right, message 1. What's showing up for message 1 this week? What does message 1 need to know going into this week? Okay, we've got 4 of Swords energy upright, suggesting that some of you might be in need of a little bit of rest and respite, needing to take a break. So this could manifest as not pushing on something, not forcing something to happen. Patience may need to be had for some of you this week. 4 of Swords being highlighted. And often I feel like this card shows up when we are really hustle, bustle, and busy, and we're not creating any space for ourselves to really stop, think, pause, contemplate, reflect, because there's usually something that wants to show up for us that can't get to us because we're so busy or our brains are really loud. So there's something to that energy that's going to be quite important for you guys this week. Needing reflection, pause, rest. Sometimes too, and this doesn't mean it's going to be the case for any of you, but sometimes it's a bit of a heads up that we might start to feel ill, or something might happen where we're just not feeling ourselves, and headaches come to mind because it's Swords energy. So it's usually to do with the mind, or just off physically, and maybe we feel like we don't have time to give ourselves rest. But I feel like that could be a thing for some of you. But we'll see what else comes out. Oop, that's going to be way too many cards, though. All right, that was the bottom card. Future. Okay, you may travel or host an overseas traveler soon. Either way, great social fun awaits. Ooh, okay, future. Interesting, right? Because it kind of feels like your future is going to get busy. There's going to be a lot going on, a lot of socializing, which even if you're an extrovert can become draining, right? Because we still need to have time and space for ourselves. So something to keep in mind, if you give yourself over to a little bit of rest, relaxation, contemplation, ebbing back a little bit right now, sorting yourself out, then you move into this energy where everything's really moving and it's more fun, it seems here. And quite literally, if you've been wanting to know if you're going to be able to make travel plans happen or have somebody come to you, this feels like yes energy. And it says, either way, great social fun awaits. Now that I'm thinking about it, for some of you, that 4 of Swords energy could be even coming out of being in rest and respite as of late, where you've kind of been holed up or in solitude. And it might be that you're being asked to shake up that energy this week just a little bit and prepare for more socializing and positive, more hustly, bustly energy to come. And it's going to be different for all of you because these are general reads, but take it as it resonates. Ooh, conflict and defeat. Okay. Very much connected to that Four of Swords, needing to take a mental break, needing to step back, feeling defeated, feeling like things aren't working out in your favor. But you've got this promise of the future looking quite bright and socially connected and more joyful and lighthearted. So if you were trying to plan something, make something happen, change things up, and it's just not going your way, I feel like there's a bit of a take heart here in this message. It will shift and change. There is that little light there at the end of that frustration and that defeat. Okay. Third eye chakra. So this is coming out in the challenge position, suggesting that we need to open up, we need to expand our vision a little bit, widen our perspective, see things through a different lens, because in doing so, you'll receive some sort of answers, aha moment, clarity about what to do to get out of this heavier energy, this feeling defeated, feeling like things didn't work out the way that you had hoped. And it feels to me that the answer lies within you. Like you will see it, like you'll have that vision, that understanding, that clarity. Look, we've got 5 and then we've got 6. And often people are afraid of the number 6, but it's actually just connected to needing more balance and harmony in our lives. And that makes sense to me with that Four of Swords being the overarching energy, like being asked to step back, relax our minds a little bit, open up our third eye, our vision, see things in a different way, coming out of this harder, heavy energy, because your future looks quite bright. Look at this. Rejoice in celebration. Yes. Yeah. Things are going to come together. So if there's sort of this like little underbelly message here for you guys, that what didn't work out was on purpose. It might feel frustrating. It's that energy of blessings in disguise. There was something better. There was a better way forward. But you had to go through this more frustration and annoying, honestly, energy to get to this more positive outcome where you are rejoicing in celebration, where everything's working out. I feel like you're going to find solutions and answers to a problem that you tried to solve. And it's going to show up in a different way. It's going to show up more intuitively. And if you follow that thread, you will get into this beautiful energy of rejoicing and celebration. Look, choose wisely. Choose wisely. Yeah, all the more reason to take a little bit of a step back in that Four of Swords energy, message 1, because when we're frustrated and we're in this energy of conflict and defeat, our emotional body, our energetic body, our mental body is all tied up in knots. It's not running at its optimal. It's not running optimally. And so we have a tendency to make snap decisions or quick decisions to get out of feeling that way, right? I just don't want to feel like this anymore. All the more reason to take this Four of Swords energy quite seriously. Take a step back, open up your third eye. You know, I feel like it might even be a benefit to some of you to pull out a journal and write down all your frustrations, your pains, your hurts, your feelings, to get them out of your system so that you can open up to something that wants to come through. It feels solution oriented. There's going to be more than one choice in it. And you're being asked to choose wisely so that you can be in this energy of rejoicing and celebration, things working out in your favor, having a travel plan work out for you, having that person come to you that you've been wanting to come to you, but you haven't figured out how that could possibly happen. It doesn't have to be that literal. It could just be like quite literally, or metaphorically, I should say, ushering new energy, new social situations, and new people where everything starts to feel like it's moving and it's more lighthearted and joyful. That's your future promise, right? I keep coming back to that. The potential to be in that energy and feel that way and embody that is there. And the answers to that, I feel, show up for you guys this week. All right, let's pull a final piece of advice card here for you guys. Yeah. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, that frustration, but don't make decisions from that place. This says now is the time for deep emotional healing, and it's the seagull energy. Yeah, give yourself over to healing. rest and respite. Four of Swords is really, really prevalent for my message one choosers this week. It feels, I know on a surface level, me saying, oh yeah, just give yourself a break. Don't push on anything, take some rest. Sounds so mundane and so like blah, blah, want. That doesn't solve my problem. But I actually feel like it will for you guys. It really will. It will expand something in your third eye energy where you'll see the truth about something. You'll have an epiphany, you'll have knowledge, you'll have wisdom, you'll connect to a way forward that ushers in all this more positive, beautiful energy. But now is the time for rest, respite, and deep emotional healing, coming out of this energy of conflict and defeat. I definitely think that a lot of my message ones, you probably really had high hopes for something to work out, that you probably put a lot of time, effort, and energy into, that only to see them fall through. But this too shall pass. It really will. And there is something better on the other side, an even better way forward. I think if you could just frame it as, I'm going to trust that if it didn't work out for me, it's because there's something better, like almost like affirming this or something better. And I know that something better is on its way. It really does feel like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys. Hello, message 2. All right. What do my beautiful message 2 choosers need to know? What is showing up for message 2 this week? Ooh, nice. The Empress. Okay, so we're either moving into this energy or we're going to be asked to embody this energy. The Empress is very, very grounded, but also spiritually open and connected. Like she's always in balance. She's harmonious. She's got everything that she needs and she trusts herself, her abilities. She's kind of got that balance of as above, so below, sitting pretty in her intuition and her deep inner knowing, and also feeling very secure and stable, well embodied and well balanced. So this is something that you're either going to be moving towards this week or being asked to embody, because you have the potential for it. She's highly connected to divine wisdom, truth, and intelligence, but she's also got her feet here firmly planted on the earth plane. So again, I come back to that as above, so below, very balanced, strong, provided for, abundant. Like there's a lot of positive energies attached to her. Connected to things of beauty as well. Oops. All right. Ooh, look at that luck. A sudden change of luck is likely. Things are working in your favor. Excellent time for networking. Yep. I think that this is about to show up for you, the Empress energy, and you're going to be asked to say yes to it, to lean into it, to embody that positive trust. As above, so below. I'm balanced. I've got this. Nothing has to be sacrificed for me to move towards this beautiful thing. Again, a sudden change of luck is likely. Things are working in your favor. An excellent time for networking, which is really standing out to me. So be open to networking and socializing and making connections, because it will bring about more positivity where you're in that abundant energy of feeling really secure and good in all kinds of ways. All right, let's see what else is coming out with this. I'm very curious to know what some potential challenges could be here for you guys. Okay, well, we have a card that flew right out, and I'm going to tell you it's face up on the floor. I'm going to have to pick it up, but it says patience and planning. That's going to be the first energy out, which, is going to make a whole lot of sense, because that is the Empress. She is patient, she plans, but she's also very tapped in and hooked into her intuition and her gut instincts. She's so well balanced, and she takes that energy and she can cultivate and create so many things. That's the energy you're moving towards, with that little extra bit of luck coming out for you guys this week. I'm just going to pause and pick that up. Okay, so here it is. It's the patience and planning card. Yeah, and there's a lot of luck and success with this in doing it, right? Like, I feel like if you make time and space for it, which might be part of your heads up from spirit, nudging you to say, okay, now that you've received this energy, good things are starting to come your way. Make sure that you do network, make sure that you do put a structure and plan in place. You're entirely capable of it. It's all coming together for you. And I'm also noticing the number 7, which is funny because I always think lucky number 7, patience and planning. Passion ignited. Okay, but this is coming in the position of challenge. Allow your passion to be ignited. So I feel like there might be this little underlying theme or fear or anxiety. Is this really going to work out for me? Can I trust this? Kind of like when we're holding on to the energy of hope, but at the same time, like every time something good happens, something bad happens. So we're afraid to really lean in, to trust, to release our heart and just be in our passion, joy, and excitement. Also, I think it might be about not looking at this new thing, this planning that's going to be required for this beautiful situation coming in as daunting and hard work, but allowing your passion to drive you, right? To motivate you. So keep that in mind. Allow yourself to frame this new thing coming your way as positive, exciting, something where you are able to use your creativity and your passion in the best kind of ways. I just think this might be related to fear, not letting fear block this beautiful energy, right? The joyful side of this. All things worth doing require some hard work and the less fun aspects like planning. But I feel like in your case, it's going to be so worth it. So worth it. Look at this. Material harvest. Yeah, you're really on the right track with something here. Message 2. You're making good moves. Things are coming together for you. It feels serendipitous and synchronistic and beautiful. It's going to be your mind or your worries or your fears that could potentially get in the way of this. So to know that is to be forewarned. Well, no, I'm not going to do that thing where I think it can't all be working out for me. Something bad's going to happen because everything seems to be going right and I'm in fear around that, or whatever fears arise within you. Look them in the eye, like listen to those fears and say, okay, thanks for sharing, but I choose joy. I choose passion. I choose to be really excited about this and not think about, the hard work or having to move through the details around the situation. It's all going to be worth it in the end. And it can be fun. Oh, wow. Message 2. Look at this. Foundation and achievements. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And we've got that rainbow suggesting blessings. There is abundance coming in for you. Harvest, material harvest, financial stability. You're going to be sitting pretty in that Empress energy. I feel like the only thing that can get in the way of this happening and being really positive for you is not acting on making a plan around it. Which I know that's not the most fun energy, but it's going to be so good for you in doing that and allowing any fears, worries, or anxieties to get in the way. Let yourself be impassioned by this. Let your passions be ignited. Yeah, look at all this beautiful energy. Patience and planning, luck, passion ignited, material harvest, and foundations and achievement. Rarely do I get that many beautiful cards in one of these readings. So really, really having good energy being shipped your way. I feel like you just got to say, yes, I'm not going to let any worries or fears around it get in my way. I'm going to frame this as exciting and not scary. Okay. Okay, we've got walrus energy. Remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. Wow. And that remain vigilant about the current situation with patience and planning. There's really I really feel nudged and urged to tell you guys not to sit on anything positive coming your way. If there's an action that needs to be taken, take it. Be vigilant with that in moving forward and doing this thing, but also, really being guided this week, serendipitous, synchronicity, signs and omens coming your way. Pay attention to them, be open to them. Allow them to help guide your choices. You're getting things right, and things I feel like are starting to finally work out in your favor in a way that's going to be more tangible than it has been in the past. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. So trust the nudges, trust the gut instincts, trust your your intuition, and the intuitive hits that come through. You are really being guided. And I want to say this is really strange. Birds. This is a walrus, which is an aquatic animal. But I feel like there's going to be some sort of bird messengers that show up for you. So pay attention to the thoughts that you're having, or just any ideas that may be inspiring you, and the birds that show up around you. I don't know why, but I think that's going to be a thing for some of you. Birds are going to be messengers for you this week. All right. Beautiful message, group 2. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week, and give yourself over to this patience and planning. It feels like it's going to be so worth it in the end. Take care, guys. Hello, message 3. Okay. What do my beautiful message 3 choosers need to know going into this week? What kind of energies are showing up for message 3? Okay. All right. So we've got the 7 of Wands. It came out in the reverse. So I just want to quickly mention here, up for like this, it looks like a lot of you could have been in some frustrating energy. Power struggles comes to my mind almost immediately, where one person's passionate ideas are conflicting with another person's passionate ideas. And instead of communicating, there's just a lot of arguing for your point or your cause or how you feel. This too shall pass. You're coming out of this kind of energy where there's been potentially, conflict, frustration, butting heads, not seeing eye to eye, again, where fire meets fire, or I should say maybe even water meets water, like heavy emotions, and it's just, there's been clashes. There's an opportunity to move out of that energy this week, or you are just going to be moving out of that energy this week. But let's see what else comes out with that. Sometimes it's also just a heads up to not allow yourself to get into that energy. Just sort of sit back and keep your mind open. Be the stable one in an chaotic energy that could be showing up. Almost like, embodying that peacemaker, voice of reason type of energy. Perseverance. You may feel like you are getting nowhere, but there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. Okay, actually, you know what? That's interesting because, with this Wands energy, actually, I apologize too. I said 7 and it's the 5 of Wands. I don't know why I did that. It's the 5 of Wands. Maybe for some of you, you're meant to be standing up. You're meant to be arguing for yourself, your point. I feel like it's going to be different for all of you, but I'm definitely thinking that some of you are meant to stay in your passion, your power, as it says, your perseverance, and not give up on something. Yeah, you may feel like you are getting nowhere, but there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. Yeah, kind of like trying to take a step back right now because maybe you're feeling a little bit defeated because it's been difficult what you're doing or trying to achieve or create or having to go through. And you're being asked to kind of dig in and persevere, to keep going. I do feel though, like there's definitely this umbrella energy of what's been difficult or conflicting or frustrating with others is coming to a close. There's potential for that to come to a close. And then you can continue to persevere in your power, if that makes sense. Let's pull some more cards. I'm actually quite interested now to see what else is going to come up for message 3, because I definitely feel a few different types of messages. For some, it's about stepping back and embodying that role of the wise one, the one that's got a level head. And for others, it might be that you need to stand your ground. Patience and planning. Yeah, not giving up. Not giving up. Keep going, keep pushing, no matter what difficulty you've been through, no matter how hard other people's energies have been to contend with, because I definitely feel that for some of you. Keep moving forward. You're making the right moves, even though there's been obstacles and difficulty. And try to find your centering and stay in that energy of patience as best as you can, and keep putting a plan around what it is you're doing. Yeah. There's frustration, I think, in that with the patience aspect of things, right? Fertility. And for some of you, maybe there's quite literally a message here about fertility, and it's coming in the side of challenge. So it's sort of like, I haven't seen anything grow. Nothing's happened. I'm working my tail off. I'm trying so hard to make things better in this situation, job, relationship, even for some of you, but nothing's changing. I keep coming to this too shall pass. That's an energy that's really showing up for me this week. Things will grow, but we need patience. We need time. Like, it's like that seed doesn't become the plant for weeks and months at times, like ever. It doesn't become the thing that you want it to be. It doesn't become fruitful, is what I'm trying to say. So we need to kind of embody that energy and look at whatever it is that you're doing as a seed that you've planted, that you're caring for. Because I do think it's going to become something quite beautiful. You know, as this says, there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. It's sort of like that energy of, we take our foot off the gas just before the miracle is about to happen. I feel like that's a thing for a lot of you guys. Emotional loss. Okay. I'm wondering if some of you feel like you have to let go of something that you had an emotional connection or investment to and towards in order to have this thing, or you're just feeling emotionally drained and done, right? Which kind of does show up with that 5 of Wands in the reverse, saying we need to come out of like dispassion, conflict, hyper high energy, emotional junk that's within our body and in our mind that's kind of running the show. Hopefully what I've said just makes sense. Needing to deal with that, needing to deal with those heavy emotions, needing to shake them up. And I do think that there is a percentage of you that are like, I know I'm genuinely dealing with something emotionally heavy. And it's been difficult for me to navigate and to reconcile. And I feel like that's okay, because this is the advice position saying we need to look at that. We need to deal with it. Look, okay. I'm noticing the number 8 too right away. Don't know why, but that could be important for some of you. And it says slow down. Accelerated motion. Things starting to move forward, right? Patience and planning, very connected. And it's the 7, and then it's the 8. Accelerated motion. This energy of this too shall pass. What hasn't been growing, what hasn't been happening, where there's been heaviness, conflict, fights, arguments, having to let go of something, I almost feel like sacrifice in ways that have been really hard and hurtful. This is coming to a close. You are coming out of that harder, heavier energy. You aren't meant to give up on whatever it is you're trying to do, create, fix, sort out. It's going to come to fruition. It's just requiring more patience and planning from you, and a need to deal with the emotions, the heaviness, the losses, to move through those emotions. Because I keep coming back to this, but there are wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. Yeah. And I know I already said it, but that feeling of we often give up right before a miracle is about to happen. There's something to that energy here for me that I feel for you guys, for my message 3s. Oh, look at this. On the bottom of this deck says love begins. A new beginning of sorts, right? Except some of you might actually be dealing with difficulty or loss in a romantic connection or partnership. It's been really hard. You know, quite literally, maybe some of you have had a fertility issue and you're dealing with that. That would be so hard and heavy. If that's the case, I'm sending you so much love. I can't even imagine how hard that would be. But for others, again, generally speaking, this could be, you know, feeling excited again, feeling passion, feeling like your heart is reconnected to a thing that you're trying to do, create, cultivate, something that you've put a lot of effort and energy into, where there's been lots of obstacles. You're moving towards this energy of heart-centeredness, emotional balance again, right? After dealing with the heaviness. it's going to come to a close. I just feel like you're so close. Give yourself over to dealing with the emotions, the heavy ones, the ones that are maybe that you're trying to suppress or tamp down. Let them out. I'm feeling like don't overshuffle these cards for you guys, or I'm not going to do that. This is a time of good fortune and abundance. So be willing to receive all good things in your life. And you know, when we're heavy with emotions and we're coming off of hard things, obstacles, fights, conflict, it's really hard for us to connect to being receptive to good things, right? We tend to block it out because we just can't even imagine that good things are happening after so many hard things. But this is the energy that you're moving towards, that ladybug and luck. You know, wonderful changes ahead. Don't give up. All good things in your life. This is a time of good fortune and abundance. So be willing to receive all good things in your life. Yep. Accelerated motion. Things are about to turn in your favor. I feel like just hold on a little bit longer. Sort out your emotions. Remove yourself from conflict and frustrating people and energies. Move into the energy of perseverance, patience, and planning. And then you're going to get to the other side where you're embodying this ladybug energy and things are starting to move. Finally, it feels like for a lot of you in a positive direction that you can trust. I feel like I want to emphasize that you can trust it. All right. I think I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys. Hello to all my beautiful message fours. All right. What do my beautiful message four choosers need to know? What is showing up for them this week? Message four. Ooh, I thought that one was going to fly out, but it didn't. All right. Ooh, nice. The Emperor. Okay. So this is either the energy that you're going to be asked to embody, or it's the energy that's coming your way. And the Emperor is all about being a really good and balanced leader, being able to lead people from a place of intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, almost like a sage or a guru, but with a lot of structure around things. So these are energies that could be coming your way, where you have that ability to take charge, to take the lead on something, where you're very balanced with it, where you have the wherewithal and the know-how to make things happen and build a structure and a foundation underneath your feet. Being very practical, level-headed, but in such a beautiful way. Let's see what else comes out with that. It's strange, but I'm really attracted to the red robe. I don't know why that is. That could have to do with grounding and the root chakra, you know, because the Emperor really does have their feet firmly planted on the ground, very secure, very stable, very grounded. That could be a part of the message here for you guys. Okay, this one here, it's off camera. It fell out, so we're going to go with that. Property. A property purchase or sale for many. Okay, but heed security concerns in any transactions. Okay, so if some of you have been thinking about moving, making a purchase, maybe a rental property, or, you know, more metaphorically, it's a movement to a different place of employment. It's sort of like a bit of a heads up to make sure that you're dotting I's and crossing T's, that you're reading the fine print, so that you're absolutely aware of all things in this situation. Yes, a property purchase or sale for many, but heed security concerns in any transactions. And, you know, the Emperor energy would be the beautiful energy to embody in situations where you need to be using your intelligence and reading all the things and looking closely at contracts and things like that. Because the Emperor absolutely would have a full and complete understanding of what they're getting into and what all the ups and downs and ins and outs are in connection to this thing. Hopefully I made sense. But I want to say that if you're here and you're like, I have no desire to be selling my house right now, or to be buying a rental property. This could be definitely about a movement to a different place of employment. It could be about purchasing a car and making sure that you have a full understanding of like the taxes and the interest rates and all those things, right? So that you're not blindsided by anything. It could be connected to just about any kind of a bigger purchase or where you might be spending a lot of money on something, someone, somewhere. Why though? But I do feel like there's maybe for some of you it's a opportunity of sorts. Yeah, financial material changes. I think that there's a financial opportunity, like a career change or opportunity for some of you. This is saying financial material change is coming your way. And it's kind of like if you have all the information and you've made sure to dot your I's and cross your T's and looked over everything, not skimmed over everything, I feel like you're going to make really good decisions and there could be really positive change. But there's this kind of like choose wisely energy here, the way that they have their hand splayed out, right? It's sort of like two fingers in that grounded energy with material abundance, feeling provided for and secure. One finger there in the spiritual energy, vision, and then heart. So something to consider, really looking at your choices wisely and making sure that they don't just look good, but they should feel good too, I think is a part of the equation. Look at that. Recognition and reward. I think some of you have been feeling very undervalued because it's coming in the side of challenge. It could be too that maybe some of you are quite frustrated with something that you're doing or where you've been, where you've not been getting the recognition and reward that you deserve, feeling overlooked, and new opportunities may be coming. But before, don't make a hasty decision. Make sure that you have all the information. Yeah, I think there's some frustration here. Like I've put in so much hard work and dedication and not had that, like not have it come back to me in any kind of way. And that would be frustrating. Oh, look at this. Love begins. New beginning, right? This could quite literally mean that there is a beautiful partnership on the horizon for some of you, or where there's been difficulty in a connection or partnership, things are about to get much better. But I also think just more metaphorically with these cards here with financial material changes, lacking recognition and reward, and being asked to really embody emperor type energy, very balanced, very structured, very practical. I think this is a new love for life and what you're doing and the direction that you're going and the things that you're choosing for yourself, where there's a lot more opportunity and abundance. Because it's not always as literal as it looks. Look at this, partnerships and alliances, and love begins. I think for some of you, it's a new partnership in business transactional things. And there's like beautiful yes energy here with it. And for others, it's love. I want to say, for those of you where it's like a love thing, it feels to me like it's connected to up-leveling a commitment in love, more so than brand new love for many of you. Am I making sense? Yeah, a love of life, partnerships and alliances. I think, there's 2 3s here too. Threes, double threes. So pay attention to threes. I think what I'm trying to say here in a long-winded way is that for some of you, there is new partnership definitely coming in, but I feel like it's connected to more than just romantic lover partnership for some of you. I think it is going to branch out and expand into other things like leveling up in a commitment, making huge decisions around buying your first home, like kind of like this little heads up that this is a forever person if it's brand new, and for others is leveling up in a commitment. But then there's this business side to this where I just think there's partnerships and alliances to help with the situation for you where you're making big decisions, big purchases, and there's somebody coming in to help you with this. And the biggest message for you is to make sure that you have all the information, that you don't skim over anything, that you read everything thoroughly and carefully before choosing. And I also think that on the other side of all of that is recognition and reward, being seen in love, in your glory as that person that embodies the emperor of quite powerful, smart, intelligent, capable, practical in the best possible ways. Yeah, a few different energies I feel with this one. Okay. I had this song, what's that? How does it go? Born to be wild. I don't know, born to be wild, looking for adventure, whatever comes my way. I was born to be wild. So there's a little bit of I feel like a little bit of a message here for some of you that some risks are worth taking so long as you have all the information and you're taking the right risks. And because you already naturally are embodying that emperor energy, I feel like trusting yourself is going to be important with this. I do feel like there's a lot of fulfillment for you, like a new beginning where your heart is expanded and you feel very connected to what it is you're doing and the choices that you're making. And then it ushers in people. Okay, so take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude, snow leopard, contemplation and reflection, right? And that really does lend itself well to Emperor energy because he doesn't make any moves on that chessboard of life until he has all the information. And I really feel like that's just a reiteration of that. Make sure that you do. Make sure that you're looking at all things from a widened perspective where you really have a full understanding of what it is you're moving towards, choosing, etc. That's just a reiteration of that. Oh, okay. And on the bottom here, your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now. So pay close attention to signs and omens from them. So not only can you trust your gut and are you being asked to be very practical and read the fine print on everything, your spirit guides are coming in to help you with this too, helping you with decisiveness and choosing and making, I just come back to making really good choices and decisions and connections for a lot of you. Showing up for you this week. So pay attention to signs, omens, synchronicities, etc. Going to be quite loud, I think, for you guys this week. But if we are always in that emperor energy, sometimes we miss those more subtle cues from the spiritual realm. So keep that in mind. And threes. I think they're going to be like yes energy for you this week with what you're thinking and feeling. So pay attention to threes. All right. I am going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful week. Take care, guys.